So what if I was muted? Shush, it doesn't matter. Anyways, alright, welcome back to the Grumpy Grizz stream. It ain't too fancy, but it gets the point across, right? Okay, so I understand that last time I streamed, I was gaming at the same time, and it was brought to my attention by my own ignorance that. Why does it look so fuzzy? I hope the game looks better on y'all's end than mine. Sorry about that. Anyways, it's come to my attention that whenever I try to stream in game, it does not work out very well. I get too distracted by when I am playing that I can't focus on what I'm talking about. And that's a really bad idea considering what I'm talking about is important stuff. So I should get all the facts right the first time. So I apologize for that. So we are coming back to the idea of how the game Cryptid Codex works. It is not out yet. I'm currently only writing it, as I am a game developer in training, you could say. I'm studying at Full Sail University for game development and computer science. The goal in the future is to one day become a game, I think it's called a game director. Yeah. So a game director would have complete control over the storyline and the gameplay. That's what I really want to be. Either that or a creative director. Either way, sounds fun to me. That's the goal. So, it all comes back to me just trying to stay afloat, just trying to do the work, you know? And so I made the YouTube channel so that there's always a place where I can upload my ideas and stay in contact and in connection with viewers and players, because in reality, you guys are the ones who control the market. You guys are the ones who control business. And all I can do is hope that I live up to your expectations. And so I'm going to give a sneak peek of those expectations right now. I'm Jonathan Hansel, also known as Grumpy Grizz, and I am currently trying to build a company known as Chimera. Chimera is kind of a general idea of what I want the company to be, in a sense. So, the Chimera in Greek mythology was three creatures put together, right? It was the body of a lion, the head of a goat on its back, and the tail was a snake. Ironically, the goat was the most dangerous part of the Chimera, though, because it could breathe fire, apparently. Oh well. So, three creatures as one entity. That's what I really want for my company. I want us to be separate ideas, separate mindsets, all towards one goal, one outcome. And Chimera, I feel like, is a really good representation of that because it's three entities, or sorry, three beings as one entity. Three creatures as one monster. A formidable creature who was hard to take down by himself. So that's kind of the future goal. I hope it lives up to the future of what's to come in the gaming development world. I don't know. We'll see. I hope so. I'm just going to check, make sure my audio is clean. And Chimera, I feel like it's really sweet. Good. That's what I was hoping for. So, with that said, we are going to delve into the future of my game studio. And we are going to be talking about a little video game I like to call the Cryptid Codex. Spooky, scary sound. I'll learn how to implement that later. Lightning, scary monster roar in the background, stuff like that. Well, so the game Cryptid Codex is going to be a mystery-based game where you play as an investigator, or a park ranger, as I'm calling it, and you are going from state to state, basically, investigating supposed encounters with cryptids, or monsters, or American mythologies, however you want to put it. Bigfoot is a cryptid. Technically, Loch Ness is a cryptid. Some aliens are cryptids, stuff like that. There is a general science that is called cryptozoology, and it is the study of cryptid or cryptic animals. Funny enough, you guys have actually heard of some of these. All right. Thank you, Chasm. Thank you, Chasm. Welcome to the stream, man. I appreciate the feedback. I did do a little bit of graphic design, and I feel like I was able to implement that here just a little bit, so appreciate it, man. So, what is a cryptid? Let's kind of delve into the phrase itself, because not many people have heard of cryptid or cryptozoology. So, cryptozoology is the study of animals that may or may not exist, and I think it's fascinating. Cryptids are those animals that may or may not exist. You've actually heard of some cryptids, considering the giant panda for years was considered a cryptid because nobody knew if it actually existed or not. The silverback gorilla was considered a cryptid. The Tasmanian tiger was considered a cryptid. A lot of animals that we know today as just animals, in reality, started off as cryptids, as creatures that are being studied whether or not they are proven to exist. The giant squid was considered a cryptid. We found it, apparently. So that's exciting. So this game is just kind of an homage to the idea of what if these creatures are real, you know? Every state in America, in the USA, has at least 5 to about 10 cryptids that they're known for, you know? Um, there's just, I think it'd be such an interesting idea if each and every one of those sort of cryptids, those creatures, were implemented into a video game so it taught the history of America, but from the lens of fantasy, from the lens of mystery, and this idea of are they real, are they not, sort of thing. And so, apologize if the screen is kind of fuzzy. I'm running everything off of a laptop. So, I'm kind of scraping by, but I'm determined to get this stuff put out there. So, okay. So, Cryptid Codex. What is it? It is a mystery-based game, and the way that it would work is that words is hard sometimes. Let me go down to my notes real quick so I can articulate this better for you guys. Okay, so game mechanics. It's a mystery-based game. You are called to a crime scene of some kind. Basically, it could be a murder, it could be a break-in, it could just be a sighting, because these creatures aren't supposed to exist, so a sighting itself should be enough. And so, let's say you show up to the area, and you have to take up different forms of evidence in order to discover what kind of creature it is. So, it's an investigation monster mystery game. I plan on making the game single player, at least for now. I'm interested in making it into a 2-player campaign. I always thought campaigns were more fun with 2 people, but that's kind of just me. At least 2 people. We'll see what happens. And so, what would happen is that you and your friend would be called to a site, and you guys are the park rangers. I say that with quotations because the organization that you work for in this game are called the park rangers. And later I'll put what the acronym stands for. The park itself is going to mean something like pararegular animal reconnaissance, knowledge, something like that. So there's a whole conspiracy theory about park rangers secretly being a containment theory for monsters. And so I was like, I have to put that in there. And so you play as a park ranger going from state to state being called towards these mysteries. It could be murders, break-ins, sightings, whatever. And you gather evidence around the crime scene. And after you've gathered that evidence, you can decide what kind of monster it is. I forget what it's called, but I think it's called like Spirit Investigator or something like that. I'd have to look it up again. The gameplay is going to be similar to that. I actually did not know about that game until I started making Cryptid Codex. And so the more I started looking into the game Spirit Investigator, the more it started to kind of reinforce the idea that I had for this game, Cryptid Codex. And so you would take the evidence down, you would write it down, and you would put it into your Cryptid Codex, which is basically, in this case, it's probably going to be like an iPad of some kind, or I don't know. I'll work out that kind of form of detail later. We'll come back to that on another stream. And you put in the evidence that you have, and the behavior you feel like you're getting, and even like some word testimonies. So people might say like, "Oh, it was big and hairy, and it was scary, and it smelled bad," you know, and the classic scary monster kind of thing. I didn't have my phone with me, or if I did, it was for some reason a flip phone that can't record more than 5 frames per second, and so uh basically it's going to come to you take the evidence, put it together, put it in the Cryptid Codex in the iPad, and then you have to make your decision on what creature you think it is based on behavior. So, for example, let's say you went to Washington and the forest, I'm not talking DC. You go to Washington and you were called there because somebody's cabin got broken into while they were there, and it was not a human because they know it wasn't a human. You got the word testimony, and they have stated that it is just weird. Somebody broke in the front door, no weapons, no gunshots. The door was broken in physically. Food was all gone, house was torn up inside. All they saw was something big and hairy, and then it ran out. Well, you would go around the crime scene and you'd kind of investigate it a little bit more, and you would find that only food is taken. Food is gone. People are not hurt, they're just scared, and that there are large footprints in the house. You kind of had to look at what the footprints are, and you would look at the biome. Where are you? You're in a forest. You're in Washington, home to one of the most notorious monsters or cryptids of North America. And you put all the evidence together and you're like, okay, big and hairy, left large footprints in the house, didn't hurt anybody but took the food, and we are in Washington in the forest. What does this look like? And you put that into your Cryptid Codex, and it will eliminate certain creatures. So it wouldn't be the Goat Man. It wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be the Thunderbird or anything like that. So you would type it in, and then all of a sudden pops up only a few options left. And you kind of have to put together your evidence of which creature you think it is. If you said it was Bigfoot, congratulations, you won. You beat the game. You beat the level. Now, then the other park rangers, you would tell the park rangers, and they would come and they would deter the monster safely. They would try to keep it back at bay and put kind of markers to keep the Bigfoot away. I'll make that up later. Maybe it's like pheromone sense or something like that. Maybe it's an audible thing. It's speakers that put out a sound only they hear or something. I don't know. But let's say you choose the wrong monster. Let's say you chose, let's say instead of footprints, it left claw marks. And so, like 3 claw marks, not 5 like hands, but 3. And so you put in it's Bigfoot, you get it wrong. They put out the stuff to deter Bigfoot, even though he wasn't even there. And then you realize, holy cow, this was the dog man. And then the consequence is going to be somebody did get murdered, or it didn't work, and now you failed that one, and so you can't unlock these future missions. You know, it's going to be kind of based on like your future missions you can't have until you complete all these past missions. For now, I'm planning on there being 25 levels. You'll probably have access to 5 levels at a time. And it's going to be 25 levels in 25 different states. And it's going to be a culmination of it's near other states. So you have to figure out, did the monster cross a state? Or are we still in territory that says like, no, it couldn't be that creature. It doesn't make any sense. So it's going to take a lot of investigative work on your part. And I think it's going to be really interesting. I've been writing this book. It started off as a book called the Cryptid Codex. Been writing this book since last year, I think. and it's coming together. It's coming along pretty well. All so far, I've only written bullet points, and I've been refining bullet points, and only now have I actually had the chance to sit down and write down details regarding it. And so we're gonna go over those details now. But just real quick, we're gonna take a minute and see how everybody's doing. All right, if you're in the chat, I would love to see you there. I want you to type in the words huzzah in all caps, and there has to be at least 4 Z's if you are in the chat. Love to see who's here. All right. What's up, Rakua? What up, girl? Girl, I have something for you, actually. So, I realized I did not have this until it was a little bit late. I am very sorry for that. But I got this for you. Are you ready for this? I hope that sounded as awesome as it did in my head. All caps, and there has to be at least 4 Z's. This is going to be epic. I'm just checking the audio. I've never tested this before, so I'm going to check this out real quick. So, I realized I did not have this until it was a little bit late. I am very sorry for that. Okay. For some reason it did not do. There's supposed to be a bear noise that comes with that, and so I will work on that. I will figure out why that did not make a berry noise just then. But either way, that is for you, and I really do appreciate whenever you donated for the camera last stream. That was a huge help, and I thank you very much for that. Apparently, sorry, multitasking. I'm not actually good at it. Hey, be quiet. Laptop? Golly. Okay, sorry. I am back. I feel like I was saying things. Oh well. So, oh yeah, you helped me get the camera, and I really appreciate that. For you guys out there who don't know, we are currently trying to get some savings up to really boost how good the stream is gonna do. And Rakua not just donated, but straight up bought my new microphone coming in. So this is what that looks like. Let me make sure I have this video ready. I just don't want to put it at the wrong spot, you know? Okay, right there. So this is what Rakua helped buy. And it is going to come in the near future, but well, this is the weird part. So basically this is where things get strange for some reason. Well, come on, do the thing. Sorry. I was trying to make sure everything went back to where it was. So the thing is being weird where I can't access any funds that were given into PayPal until I have made a certain amount or until time has passed. I don't know why. I'm going to work on that. I think I can bypass it, but it's going to be annoying for now. And so that's kind of what I've been trying to figure out right now. The next thing that we're going to work for is new lighting. Because I look like a cave troll when I have bad lighting, but it's okay. We're gonna make it work. It's gonna work out. We're gonna be good. It's gonna be awesome. So, again, this thing keeps going back to where it was. All right. So, with that said, let's get into the storyline. Scrolly. Yes. Rakua, I saw your text. The chat is lagging, but that is okay. Because the stream is a little sketchy, you could say. I hope it's still working, though. Let me double check that. Holy cow. Yeah, real laggy. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Coolio. I don't know why it's... Oh, what the... Now it's messing up on screen. Golly. One day, I swear, guys. One day, I am going to have everything in its correct place. But it's not today. But one day. One day I will. Okay, so. Let's see. Alright, awesome. Okay, yeah, real laggy. I don't know why it's weird. I hope to one day be able to afford a producer because I like this stuff. I like streaming. It is not my strong suit. My strong suit is story writing and eating food. All right. Speaking of storyline, we are going to get right into this story of the Cryptid Codex. So, the story in which I'm going to stay starts in the book. In the book, it starts as a German scientist who, let me get my notes up, a German man named Oscar who began researching topics of zoology for researchers in Germany and delved into the world of cryptozoology for the sake of discovery. A rather awkward man, but with a nerdy charm. Not the most athletic, but he's smart. Samantha Benali, or Sam Benny, as her friends call her. She's a Navajo woman, park ranger. She grew up on the res, only had her dad and her uncle. Her mother had passed away, sadly. Grew up hating, kind of grew up just hating where she was and just wanted to get out, but she still held on to her traditions very strongly. For the record, anybody who calls me racist, it's not true. I am Chickasaw Choctaw. So, anyways, she didn't want anything to do with the idea of the superstition. She was very traditional, but she wasn't superstitious. She was given a job offer from her boss's friend to work at the California National Park. And so that puts us at the beginning of our book, The Cryptid Codex. There we go. There we go. Rakua, I genuinely was thinking about you whenever I was writing some details about her. And so, yes, we are definitely going to need to get in touch whenever I need to get some more details in regards of zoology info. Because whereas I am an animal nerd, I am not studying it. And that is where you will become very invaluable to me whenever I start writing the story a lot more. So, the book starts as you are the reader. The book will pick up where Oscar and Sam are on an investigation searching for blank. I have not made up my mind yet. I'm going to figure that creature out later. While trying to track the creature, they find that it is getting difficult to keep up with the creatures now. They are getting older. It is more difficult for them to keep up with the cryptids that they're trying to find and document. So, either Samantha or Oscar, they come up with an idea to hire some young people. Um, I'm debating on whether or not it was Oscar's idea and Sam wasn't a fan of it, or if it was both their ideas, or if it was just Oscar's ideas and she is supportive of her husband. I don't know yet. Oh yeah, Oscar and Sam get married later. Actually not later, earlier, because they are old now. Anyways, this takes us to our main protagonist. For now, I was thinking about just making it one person, but I might make it two people. I think it would make it more interesting if there was two people that get hired. So the first person that I had in mind was a young man named Joshua, a college student with a bright future looking for a summer job. He finds a job offer for a wild animal conservationist and documenter. The requirements are needs to be physically fit, able to lift at least 50 pounds, sign a contract of discretion for interview and position, and a 6-month trial position before official hiring. The entry is $20 an hour. Pretty good deal for somebody looking for a summer job, you know? Okay, and whatever you need, I'm gonna head out though. I'll watch the rest because I want to hear more about the storyline for show. See ya, Grizz. See ya, Rakua. Love you, sister. Stay cool, stay grumpy. I'll catch you on the next stream, alright? Okay. So, I'm debating on if Joshua should be by himself, or I'm really leaning towards he has somebody with him. I'm thinking Joshua has a girlfriend, or at least just a friend, you know? One of those kind of like, she's not my girlfriend, she's just a friend. Gosh, get off. You know, one of those sort of things. And so I'm thinking it could be really interesting if, say, it was a girlfriend and she's studying zoology and he's simply just a jock and he doesn't really believe in all this hooey, but he thinks it'd be fun to travel, like a cheap way to travel the country and get paid for it, you know? Just kind of one of those job positions that can make it really easy and work well. And so he takes the offer with her. I'm thinking somehow like maybe she'll look up the credentials and realize he is a real zoologist or something, and that's why they kind of become trusting of the situation. I'm not sure. I'm gonna lean into that more. That's kind of what I'm thinking though. But that's what these videos are for. Just some brainstorming. Just some getting ideas out there, you know? So, anyways, at the interview, the older couple with the the older couple will be plain honest with them, be saying like, we hunt monsters, basically, and document them in this book. Oscar has a book that is going to be called the North American Cryptozoology Codex of Rare and Discrete Creatures. Eventually, that will be shortened to the Cryptid Codex, and therefore we have the title of the book. But again, will come much later. He does not let them read it yet, but rather tells him what's inside. Joshua thinks they're just a nice old couple that are hunting Bigfoot, so he and his girlfriend take the job because he thinks they're just a nice old couple just hunting ghosts and goblins, you know? Easy pay because none of it's real, that sort of thing. They go on their first adventure and hunt for the chupacabra in California. Not a huge deal, you know. Looking for the goat sucker. That's what chupacabra actually means, by the way. And as they drive, they get to know each other a little bit more. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. The older couple, they work out of an RV. And so they just take their home wherever they go. And they love it. They just take their work. Their work is their job. I am so sorry. Their work is their house. Gosh. Words. They're not working for me right now. I've got like 3 or 4 things going on around me right now. Anyways, as they drive, they get to know each other a little bit more. Oscar explains how he came to the States and how they met each other. Oscar will go on to say that they have been trying to find Bigfoot ever since he saw a glimpse of him in 1967 in California. Which, if that date is a little bit familiar to you, that's because that was when the first not film, supposed sighting of Bigfoot came out. It's that classic video you see where he does that like Bigfoot walk. People can't tell if it's a costume or if it's real. And so I'm going to say that after he saw that video, he was absolutely enthralled, went to California, and he actually got to witness a glimpse of it um, with Sam. Sam was kind of his tour guide, and so he got to go with her in that scenario. That's how they met. They were both hunting Bigfoot. They both see Bigfoot together. They kind of just tie in together. Think about making a prequel book about just Sam and Oscar. But for now, it's about Joshua and his girlfriend or friend. I don't know yet. Joshua doesn't buy any of it. He thinks it's all just kind of hooey. And so he just goes along with it because it's entertaining. Because he thinks, this old couple, they're funny. They're sweet. So, yeah, I'll just go ahead and go with it. Well, they begin their first hunt, and that is the moment that Joshua will realize that they weren't crazy, that they weren't joking. And then he sees the monster, El Chupacabra. And they trank it, and then they document it. They study the Chupacabra, and eventually they do let it go. But I'm thinking this is kind of where Joshua gets the first taste of it all. And so he will actually trank it, document it, and then they'll probably take it further away so that it can be released safer away from the peoples. So they get back to the RV, discuss future plans. Joshua has an existential crisis in realizing that monsters are real. This is kind of the turning point of where Joshua starts to realize, excuse me, long day. Joshua starts to realize that all these things are real, that the monsters are real, the creatures are real, spirits are real, that sort of thing. Disclaimer, this game is roughly based on biblical beliefs, and so, yeah, I am a Christian as well, so don't be surprised if you hear God a lot, if you hear Jesus a lot, if you hear scripture referencing a lot. So that's where I'm at. I plan on making Chimera a biblically based game, a biblically based company. Sorry about that. I don't plan on making every game about the Bible or in the Bible, but I'm going to make it biblically based. So the viewpoint is going to be based from actual Christians, not Pentecostal. What's the word? Presbyterian Christians. And so that's kind of where the storyline is going to lie too. So in saying that, that kind of leads into where this next part of the game is going to go, or sorry, the book's going to go. Because Joshua then asks, okay, so if these monsters are real, does that mean the devil's real? Does that mean that spirits are real, like ghosts and things? And if they are real, why don't they use like mediums or Ouija boards for finding the monsters and things like that? Well, that is whenever the older couple kind of relays to him. Oops, sorry. Okay. Apologize for that. That is whenever the older couple kind of relays to him that yes, these things are real. Yes, ghosts are real, devils are real, things like that. But the Bible makes it very clear, stay away from those things. Not because they're fake, not because they're not real, but stay away from those things because they are real and they're not to be messed with. So, for example, there is a story in the Bible that is a story called The Witch of Endor. And no, I'm not talking about Endor from Star Wars. I was excited too when I first heard that, but it's not the same thing. So there is a part where, and I could be wrong, please do not hold me to this. I can look it up again later if you'd like, but from what I remember, the story goes that there is a fight between Saul, the king of Israel, and somebody else. Saul is the king of Israel, by the way. I might have misphrased that. And he goes to I think a prophet and asks, "Are we going to win the fight?" And I think he says, "Pray and just act on the will of God," or something like that. I'd have to look it up again. And then the uh, Saul doesn't like that, so he goes by his own self, and he decides he's going to go to someone who can tell him straight up, are they going to win the fight or not? That sort of thing. And so he goes and finds a witch, the Witch of Endor, who practices necromancy. Or, I don't know if it's considered necromancy, but it is definitely divination. Sorry. And so he goes to the Witch of Endor, talks to her, asks her, like, are we going to win the fight? She's like, let me consult the bones. That sort of thing. Witchy things. I don't know. I'm not a witch. I apologize if I'm insulting viewers right now. I don't know these things. I'm letting my ignorance sit out right now. So, anyways, Saul goes, and he talks to the witch, and then the witch is even surprised of like, holy cow, I am talking to a dead person right now. Well, he pulls up, let me see. I do not want to get this part wrong. Witch of Endor. She summons the spirit of Samuel. And okay. All right, Chasm. I really appreciate that, man. Um, it was good getting to see you again or talk to you again. This is not going to be the last time we talk about Cryptid Codex. So, love to see you come around again next time, all right? Catch you later, man. Spread the word. I want you to hit that like button or that dislike button if you didn't like it. That tells me I need to work harder. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, please. Don't worry, everybody else, we are not signing off. I just wanted to iterate that now before Chasm left. So, appreciate you, man. I'll catch you later, all right? So, the witch summons the soul of Solomon, and Solomon rebukes Saul. Like, what the heck are you doing, dude? You know you're not supposed to be doing stuff like this. You should have gone straight to God rather than coming to a witch. That is the biblical belief, straight up, you know? And so that all that to say, there is example and evidence that necromancy is real. That mediumism is real. Witchcraft is real. But the Bible also makes it very clear, because it is real, we do not mess with it. Because despite what people think, they do not have control over it. It doesn't matter what they think, what they believe. Nobody has control over this stuff. And so just don't even look at it. Don't mess with this stuff. So, that being said, bring it back. The older couple explained that necromancy and spirits are real. It's not that they are not real, but rather the fact that they are very real, and that God makes it very clear not to mess with this stuff. Because I've already decided that Oscar and Sam are Christians. Sam is a new believer, but Oscar is going to be a believer for a long time. And so there's kind of a dynamic there of them being married, but he kind of carries the torch of leader of the household, and as a strong Christian, learning how to mentor a new Christian that is also his wife. So they go with Joshua. Just fast forward way too much. So fast forward in timeline. I'm planning on there being some more chapters between where they look for monsters, or at least have some good conversation about, I don't know, character design, filler. I'll figure it out once I get there. So, um, fast forward a lot more. Joshua hears them, but he doesn't listen. He believes the monsters are real. He believes the spirits are real, but he doesn't believe in God. He doesn't know about God. All he knows about God is what pop culture says about God, and that he's a boring old white guy. And so he doesn't believe in God. He also doesn't believe in Satan, not the Satan we know in the Bible. Again, a lot of pop culture does not comprehend what Satan and God truly is. And so I'm gonna look at it from the perspective of Joshua. And so Joshua doesn't believe any of this. He only believes that these creatures are real, things are real now, things are different, you know? So all he sees is opportunities. He doesn't see any bad forms of spiritualization, of divination. He doesn't know what that means yet. So, is it right what he's about to do? No. Is it understandable what he's about to do? Yes. So, with that being said, at one point they go by New Orleans and Joshua stops at Bourbon Street and speaks to a medium, or technically he goes to Bourbon Street, and I'm going to make it so that the medium reaches out to him, not so much he goes to seek a medium. And he's kind of like, I really shouldn't. I can't. I'm leaving now. And she's like, I can tell you where the monsters are. And he's like, okay. So he goes into the tent. They talk. She's going to give him some token of fortune telling, of divination. I don't know what yet. Could be bones. Could be the tea leaves. The classic would be the Ouija board. You know, I don't know yet. I'm going to look into that a lot more. And so, using this form of divination, of this mediation, he does get to speak with a spirit. They talk, and he realizes that the spirit can help him find the cryptid that they are looking for. Because I'm going to make it so that in New Orleans, they're looking for a cryptid. They can't find it. They're all miserable because they're wading through the swamp almost every day, trying not to get eaten by alligators and find this creature. It's rough. It's a tough position to be in. So he uses the divination, and he will kind of look into how to find this creature, where is it, that sort of thing. Well, the divination tells him directly, look, the creature's over here. You should come check this out. This is crazy. It's real. That sort of thing. And so he takes Oscar and Sam and his girlfriend or friend, I don't know yet, to the place that he says, I had what's the word? Anonymous informant tell me that we can find, and I'm just going to throw a New Orleans monster out there, where we can find the skunk ape. It's over here. And so they go and they follow and everything, and they get there and they realize it's not the skunk ape. They get there and they realize that this is not the skunk ape. This is the dog man. And if you guys know anything about the dog man, I'm going to go ahead and reiterate it here. It's believed the dog man is not really a physical creature as much as it is a interdimensional or demonic creature. I'm going to lean towards demonic for now. We'll see. I'm going to lean towards demonic for now. And that the creature, what's the word? It traumatizes its prey, and it feeds off of the energy of fear. Fear supposedly gives off a form of energy that animals can sense. And so the theory is that the creature, the dog man, can feed off of fear, the energy of fear. So it doesn't kill its targets. It just traumatizes them and then follows them and just eats their fear, basically. Some people have called them fear eaters. The whole idea is if they do eat fear, it makes sense, but not to kill your target, because if you kill your target, you kill your buffet, you lose your food source, that sort of thing, And so it's back to Joshua and Oscar. They're on the ground level. They're hunting this creature. I'm thinking about it actually being Sam and Joshua. That's what I'm thinking. And so they go out to find the skunk ape, supposedly. It's not actually the skunk ape. It's the dog man. And so they go out to find it, and they realize this isn't the skunk ape, it's a dog man. They have a big scary chase. Sam gets hurt. Joshua starts to realize that it was a trap set by whatever spirit was talking to them. That they sent the dog man to get rid of Sam and Oscar because they're touching on too many things that are too sensitive. The cryptids, in other words. And so they have a big conversation about it once they get back. Let's see. Sam gets hurt, not sure how badly yet, but enough to wake up Joshua to realize that he screwed up talking to the spirit world by himself. Um, I plan on there being more books, but for now, this will be kind of where the game starts to begin. Uh, Joshua then has to live with the curse of the Dogman. As it goes on, he will be followed by the Dogman until he becomes saved, until he becomes a Christian. And every now and then he'll be traumatized, he'll be followed, he'll be hunted by the monsters, that whole thing. And then this leads us into the video game part, the video game portion of how it's all going to work. So, fast forward some years, Joshua and Sam have passed away. Not Joshua, sorry. Oscar and Sam have passed away, and Joshua is now in charge of the park rangers company. And at this point, it has gotten enough. What's the word? Excuse me. It has gotten enough. I can't think of the word all of a sudden. This is ridiculous. Enough publicity. There we go. Golly. That the government now actually supports the Cryptid Codex or the Park Rangers initiative. I'm still debating whether or not it's the government or just kind of like a we are locally funded kind of thing by just uh, donations, that kind of thing. So in the game, you are a park ranger. You will get to customize your park ranger, and Joshua, who's now in charge of the Park Ranger Association, will send you out on missions. You are a park ranger field operative. I plan on there being a story mode where I would like for there to be multiple endings depending on how the game goes. 25 levels. You have access to 5 levels at a time. You have to complete all 5 levels to move on to the next 5. And they're all going to be states in the US for now. And I might make it so that it's 2-player at least. Or probably at most. 2 players can play the game at the same time. And I want there to be a multiplayer mode where 4 people can play at a time, probably. And you guys can all just kind of go through some sort of like mini games, mini hunts. And I'll probably make it so like you can have XP that goes towards like new goofy customizations or new tools you can use in the field. You'll probably unlock new tools as you play in the campaign, but in multiplayer you'll probably have to earn your tools and work together to find out like what kind of creatures is this all going to entail. Are you going to have to find all the creatures with only 4 players? Is that going to be harder? Is that going to be easier? I don't know. So that kind of comes down to the mechanics of it all, of how the gameplay is going to work. And sorry. So I think it could be really interesting. Right now, I've already started the research for the game, for the Cryptid Codex itself, the book. Um, it's kind of like a every monster in America sort of thing. I'm looking up the top 10 or 15. I'm looking up the top monsters of every state, and I'm writing them down. And for now, I'll probably expand upon it later, but for now, I'm picking the top 5 creatures to use in the Cryptid Codex in the book. And so, in the game, whenever it comes to the actual campaign, you're gonna have to decide whether or not this is a actual cryptid, an actual creature, or if it's a spirit and you need to call somebody else. And so that's kind of where I'm leaning towards with all that. I think it's going to go really well. I think it's going to be a fun game. For right now, I don't have a whole lot of evidence other than I am writing down a lot of stuff for this game to work. And I think it's going to turn out very good. Sorry. Sorry. Panda texted me. Gotta check on the wife. So that's kind of where we're leaning. Looks like we might make this just an hour stream. I got through a lot of this information a lot faster than I thought I was going to. Yeah. Sorry, the video quality is not fantastic. Um, Again, I'm working everything on a laptop. I'm currently studying game development. It's going very well. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be so much fun. I haven't gotten into any of the aspects of coding or anything yet, but I should be getting into that soon. So I do plan on publishing the book before I actually make the game. I don't think I'll be able to make the game as fast as I can the book, but we'll see. It all depends on how fast I get my research done for this project. So, alrighty. That kind of puts us towards the end. So, bear hug that like button, paw at that subscribe, and tackle that little dangly bell. Get further notifications for when we go live. Spread the word. It's going to be hard getting Grumpy Grizz out there all by myself. I need help from you guys. And I would love to hear y'all's opinions on this video, on this idea. This will not be the last time I talk about Cryptid Codex. The next game we talk about is going to be a little game that I want to make called Rachel's Defense. It is roughly based on true events. True, not events, I shouldn't say that. Roughly based on some things that I have in my real life. So, love to see you guys there for the next stream. Hit that notification bell so that you guys get the notification we're online. Spread the word, please. I want to make these games as best I can, but I can't do that without y'all's support. I really appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And, oh, sorry about that. I almost just left. Do you guys have any prayer requests? If you guys don't feel up to it, putting that in the comment section, it's okay. You don't have to put it in the comment section. You can go to my Instagram account and DM me. I'll definitely be praying. For now, I can definitely say I have a prayer request. We are struggling financially, and so pray for me and Panda. Pray that I get a job that I've applied for. Call me back and hire me up soon, because without it, it's going to be meek, bleak, and hard to get through. But because we are who we are, and we're a couple of bears, we're going to get through. We're going to be fine. So that's my prayer request. If you guys have a prayer request, put it in the comment section. I'll give you a little bit more time. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And I will catch you guys on the next stream. Bye, guys.